Here we are. Here we are. This is fun. This is exciting. Oh, I hit the screen. I don't like that. So, this week is very special to me. I really enjoyed last week's podcast. Remember, last week the goal was be a little more authentic, be a little more real, me be a little bit more myself. We're going to try that again. I'm not saying that the first videos weren't that way, but I think it's just telling authentic stories. I'm in my new studio today. This is exciting. The lighting is wow. I love it. I'm in the Florida room. Some of you are like, what's a Florida room? And I don't know why it's called a Florida room. My grandmother used to call the den we had the Florida room. And so I'm in my new Florida room. I'm a fiance. I'm in my fiance's house. And that's where I've always recorded for the most part and always will until I have a studio someday. Anyways, what do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about the blessing I had growing up. Now, I grew up with my mom and grandma. My grandpa was around for a little bit. He died when I was in third grade. It was terrible. I loved my grandpa. I was an ungrateful little kid because I was spoiled. That came with its own challenges. And I look back and I see why it's not good to spoil your child. I was an only child and I was spoiled. That usually happens to the only child, but I was a victim and I had things that I had to overcome because I was spoiled. No, I want to talk about like the beauty of being an encourager. A lot of people, they can't dream. And I think that's terrible. People can't dream. You say, hey, what do you want to do with your life? And they're like, I don't know. They don't know what they want to do. Why don't they know what they want to do? They can't dream. See, I think part of the reason why people can't dream is they had people tell them they can't do things. On the other hand, my mom never told me I couldn't do something. I hated sports, so I never was going to try to be an athlete. That was never me. So they never had to say, Ryan, you'll never be a pro basketball player. Never thought I was going to be. Maybe once I kind of thought it would be cool, but I did not run with that idea, and I'm glad I didn't. Wow. My family, they just never had to really tell me I couldn't do something. They never wanted to. My grandmother always was, that would be awesome. My mom, that would be awesome. Maybe my great-grandma tried telling me I couldn't own a hotel. That was terrible. I don't know why she did that. And I know some people are like, you know, the haters are going to say hater things. Well, my family never did that. I always felt encouraged. I always felt like the future was really mine. And I think that helped me be a dreamer. I think, though, why that hurt me, I never really locked into one thing. I think my grandmother always had expectations of things that I should do. She wanted me to have money. She did not have money. Growing up, I don't know that she really had money either. She had a couple siblings. I knew my great-grandparents. I love my great-grandparents. I think that's one of the greatest blessings I had in my life was to know my great-grandparents. And that's another podcast for another time. But I think that we need to be encouragers. We need to be encouragers, and we need to help people see the dream, see the potential that's in them, help see them what God's created them to do, and help them get there. I've had people tell me what they want to do with their future, and sometimes I'm just like wanting to fight that, and I don't know why. I don't know where that comes from, and recently I had somebody doing that, and I wanted to protect that. I wanted to protect what they wanted to actually do. Maybe it's not actually what I wanted them to do. Did I ever think about that? And it doesn't matter if it is or it isn't. I want to protect their dream. I want to foster people to be able to dream. See, I think if people robbed me of that, my life would look very different. I think I'd be a very different person. I don't think I would love who I was because of that. And so, because I've grown up and I've always been said, my family always said, Ryan, I think you can do that, or Ryan, you should go for it. It's encouraged me to be an entrepreneur. It's encouraged me to dream. It's encouraged me to shoot for the stars. And some people, they don't have that. They have people that are like, no, you'll be nothing. You can't do that. Blah, blah, blah. The reality, too, is like your words have power. See, when God created the universe, He spoke. He spoke the world into existence. That's crazy. And it's not like some weird collision or anything like that that a lot of people want to say happened. God spoke the world into existence. That's what I really believe. Um, and so there's power in our words. Well, there's power in what we hear also. Faith comes by hearing, hearing the word of God. What we hear has power. And so I do really believe that, well, and I too, just because somebody said something doesn't mean it's God. I don't need to go down that trail where I'm qualifying what I say. I think, though, what I'm ultimately trying to say is what we say to others matters because it impacts them, and what we hear from others impacts us. I think, like, if somebody was torn down a lot, they'd probably have a big negative, fat view of who they were. I think if somebody hears something positive, that also impacts who they are. I think that can also go too far. Some people don't have boundaries. It quickly turns into pride. We know who you are. You don't know who you are. You're very prideful. But what we say impacts. What we hear impacts us. It's why it's important we really guard our ears. We tame our tongue. We bridle our tongue. It's very important for that. But I'm not trying to go down that. That's not me trying to really make this episode about talking about what we say and all that. My ultimate goal with all this is I want you to have a dream. And the thing is, if God called you to it, He's going to get you to it. Okay? He's going to get you through it. He's going to get you to it. And He's going to do it. I love Him, okay? Takes a lot of pressure off. You want to do a lot to make something happen, but God's actually got it under control. That's, again, not what I'm wanting to talk about. What I'm really wanting to focus on is be an encourager. We all had imperfect parents. We all had parents that excelled in certain areas as well. Okay, don't be 30 and mad at your parents because they failed you. It's time for you to get over it. I'm sorry. That sucks. Celebrate your parents for the wins. And I know some people actually have families that are just terrible, and that sucks. That's also the reality. But the thing is, today is a new day. Do you want to be an encourager? Do you want to be somebody that helps other people dream? Do you want to walk away saying that? Do you think that will make you a more fun person, a person people want to be around? Do you think that helps you thrive? Are you going to thrive on that? Or do you want to be somebody that just tears people down? Some people, they are going to be that. Some people, that's what they are, and it sucks. Nobody wants to be around that. Don't do it. Nobody wants to be around that. My mom, she always believed in me. She always encourages me to go after my dreams. I have a lot of friends that encourage me to go after my dreams. Just because you have a dream doesn't mean you need to share it with everybody, okay? There's a little bit of responsibility in that. Sometimes you got to commit yourself to something before you go after it. Then you don't have people talking nonsense into your life, okay? I think if you're a believer, you need to really run it by God first and stay surrendered, and then you can go forth. His timing is perfect. His ways are perfect. But again, I'm really talking about, what do you want to be? Do you want to be somebody that's an encourager? Do you want to be somebody that fosters the ability to dream in somebody else's life? Or do you want to be the guy that squashes something in everybody? What do you want to be? This is not even designed to be a motivational podcast. It's really not. What I am trying to hit my head on is I grew up in a home where my family was full of encouragement, and they fostered the ability for me to think creatively and to go after something and to have a dream. And I know there's a lot of families where the parents are, it could even just be a group of friends, are tearing somebody down, and that person is not encouraged to dream and think and feel inspired. We need to feel inspired. We need to dream. It's how the world changes. It's how we thrive. Okay? I believe it's really going to be a game changer. I think we need to be encouragers more than ever. Okay? Foster dreams. Help somebody dream. Help pull the potential out of them. It's what we need. Okay? What loves people well? I want you to ask that when you're talking with somebody. And sometimes loving somebody can be uncomfortable, and sometimes love confronts, and you need to have hard conversations, but that's not what this is about. This is about being an encourager, not stifling dreams, not stifling people's ambitions necessarily. You need to call somebody out for something because it's out of whack? Okay, do that. Just know why. Don't do it because you want to be a party pooper, okay? I'm just thankful for my family, and I hope you have a wonderful family too. And sometimes you don't have a wonderful family, but I know if you ask God, He will give you a family. I believe that. Sometimes my family is not actually my family. I'm closer with a lot of other families than most of my own extended family. That's another podcast for another time, like many other things. So, content for days, baby. Let's see where it goes. Anyways, be an encourager. See where it goes. See how people respond. Okay? It's going to go much further than just stifling people all year round.